Welcome to episode 54 of the Game Time Gents podcast. It is me, Nardy, here with Zoltowski and Fish as always. And boys, week
Hello.
2 is already gone. Unfortunately, feels like the season's going by way too fast. We do have some news and updates to get you going on this wonderful Wednesday before the games start tomorrow. And tell me if you've heard this one before. Joe Burrow is injured. He's going to be out an extended amount of time. Turf toe, he does require surgery. He'll be out for at least 3 months. His backup is Jake Browning. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Who has shown some success in the past, but honestly, it just really sucks for Joe. I mean, I like Joe, even though I'm a Browns fan. I do like him as a player, and it's kind of unfortunate to see him go down again. It just really seems like the Bengals are not going to invest in any sort of protection for him. And that's been the trend over the last few years. So
yeah, I saw a comparison between Joe and Andrew Luck's stats, and he has more sacks than he did in his tenure in the league. It's not looking good over there. I had one thing I wanted to ask you guys about this. So obviously, he's out till December, at least surgery. That's if everything goes, well, and when he's rehabbing, he doesn't re-tear it. Now, say the Bengals manage to be in the playoff race at that point, do you bring him back? Or do you ride the Jake Browning hand that got you there and just let him be 100%?
No.
You be foolish. You bring him back. I mean, it is what it is. Like, great that Jake would get him there. I mean, again, and we'll talk about this later too, because he's a player that we're going to discuss a little bit more. But I mean, that might be the perfect opportunity for a backup who's been in the system for so long. Now we know how lethal that offense is, but there's going to be down weeks. They're going to have some tough opponents. There's going to be some, hey, that should be an easy win, and they're going to go in there and get their asses whooped.
Jacksonville.
It's part of football. So yeah, it's almost the same thing. Like, when Wentz carried them, then all of a sudden you're like, great, here comes Nick Foles. The guy's a backup, hasn't done anything, and then takes them, through the Super Bowl. So there's no way you don't bring the guy you just paid, the MVP candidate from last year. There's no way you don't bring him back and go, yeah, you know what, Joe? Go ahead and take a seat, bud. We're okay for now. If it gets to that point.
The Broncos did that with Peyton his last season when he got hurt. Now, granted, he came in later that game because whoever his backup was absolutely blew it. But just something to think about, because
it might be their only shot.
Yeah.
To make it to the Super Bowl as long as Joe plays. I don't think anyone else steps in there and takes them that far.
Yeah, you think about it too, though, is like now you're, a Jamar or a T or a Chase Brown injury away from that. The whole season's just gone. Take one of those weapons away with already missing, your key leader back there. But that's their season's over. And then two, if they're completely out of it, I think you just sit them the rest of the year. Don't risk him getting hurt again.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
if there's no shot at them getting into the playoffs, there's no reason to play Joe anymore. So I don't know what that means for fantasy. I mean, I think you're obviously going to see a dip from T. You're going to see a dip from Jamar. May not be a huge dip because Jake Browning has played in the system before, and he played well with those receivers. But I think this is really good for Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown is going to be the beneficiary from this because he's going to have to be leaned on and relied on more, and he's not had a great game this year that he's normally used to. So what that means for fantasy going forward, it does suck. Fantasy, you always want more offense than not, but we'll see what happens going forward with the Bengals. So they're starting off the hottest that they ever have since Joe Burrow's been there. They're 2-0 right now. So it does suck for Bengals fans that he's out because this could have been, that year that they go back, but it does unfortunately seem like that's not going to be the case. In other news, we do have some other quarterback injuries. Jaden Daniels is day-to-day with a knee injury. If you are a Jaden Daniels manager, maybe look at Marcus Mariota. He is a very serviceable backup. He's a guy that
fits into that system.
Yeah, he's a guy you can definitely start there. He's good with his legs, so that's a guy you can put in there. And then also JJ McCarthy is out. Carson Wentz is going to be his backup. Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer. Carson Wentz was good when he had another quarterback whisperer and Andy Reid in Philly. So who really knows? No, did they match up at all?
It's Frank Reich.
It was Frank Reich. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, Carson Wentz has had a lot of ups in his career, and he's had a lot of downs as well. So who knows how well he's going to do? But I think he's going to perform well, and you should be able to start Justin Jefferson and maybe Adam Thielen if you really need to.
Jay Jettis is gonna probably pop off for this. Carson is not a shy guy from throwing it down the field and throwing it aggressively. He was like that in Philly, had a lot of success there with less receiving talent. So, look, you're not going to get MVP candidate Carson Wentz. He was never the same when he blew out both his legs essentially on the one play against the Rams. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sprained both ankles.
I mean, it's just crazy to me. But I think that they're going to take this opportunity. It looks like Jay Jett is still frustrated with not getting as many opportunities, especially with a new quarterback there. But a lot of the practice, a lot of the preseason hype, JJ has looked good. And then all of a sudden he gets on the field, and there's been a lot of miscues between him and the center, a lot of ball fumbles, a lot of forced throws, a lot of holding on too long, which, look, he's technically a rookie. It's going to happen. But Carson's going to come in there. I mean, this is his fourth or fifth team, maybe even more that he's played on. He understands this at the end of his career. He'll never be a starter again. So it's almost that, no, we talked about this when Joe Flacco's with the Colts, when he came to kind of fill in that spot. And he was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And then just started slinging it. I can see Wentz absolutely torching. God, who are they playing? Who is his first game? Is it, the stellar defense in the Bengals. So Jay Jettis should, going forward for however long JJ is out, should see an increase in targets, hopefully receptions. Wentz is fairly accurate still, even though he busts his balls and stuff. But
yeah, look, I mean, you can look at Jalen Naylor there too. He's still filling in for Jordan Addison, who's serving the last game of his suspension, I believe. Or was it 3 or 6?
3.
3, yeah, 3.
Yeah. So this is his last week out, and then if you have Jordan Addison or if he's somehow available, look at picking him up. No, you're right. I mean, look at what Andy Dalton did last year when they sat Bryce Young and he came out and threw for 303 TDs, and it was the first quarterback that year to do that. So that's a great call there.
Yeah, you're right. This is Wentz's 6th team. So he's been Philly, Indiana, Washington, Rams, and Kansas City. How long's JJ out for? McCarthy, not Jettis.
I thought he hit the IR, isn't it? It's 4 weeks.
Sure.
I will look real quick.
Because I saw
Go
they
ahead
put, which you're going to talk about, Aaron Jones on the IR, but
at least 2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks. Okay.
So
Yeah, high ankle sprain.
Okay. Yeah. So
his right ankle.
That's all the news I had, pretty much, other than the Browns suck. So
real bad.
Not really news.
Dylan Gabriel threw touchdown.
The defense isn't that bad. The defense is not 51 points of ass. It's really not.
Until they're on the field for 38 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 and outs are killing that defense. But you look at how the defense played. They held, and we'll talk about them later. Derrick Henry. They shut down that run game. Your defense, the Browns defense has looked good for the past couple of years. That there's at least one bright spot there for you in the void.
Also,
but
Quinshon looked good for the 10 snaps he played.
He got more than 10 snaps. 100% got more than
10 carries he had, I should say.
But yeah, more on injuries. Hello? We good?
Hello?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
That was weird.
A couple times.
Jesus. Internet's, I'm getting green bars here. I'm blaming you. But back to injuries. Aaron Jones hit the IR. We already saw a 50-50 split with him and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason looked good like he did last year when he filled in for CMC. So his stock is going to go through the roof if he's available or you have him. Good flex RB2 play there, especially with JJ being out, like, yeah, Carson Wentz is going to launch the ball down the field, but if that doesn't work, they're going to just hand the ball off or look for quick outs out of the backfield because he is fairly shifty and can catch the ball well. So
Dude,
talk about him more later.
Good.
Yeah, no,
He looks
that
really good.
The Vikings' biggest struggle, was it yesterday? Because this is Tuesday. They played Monday night, Sunday night. Was their O-line and their defensive line. Like, they were creating some pressure, but just not enough to really get anything done. And their defense looked like crap too, which we talked about how good their defense was last year. They just kind of got to figure it out and turn it around. But they got a vet back there. Maybe that'll help out. Like Fish said, we've all said JJ's young. He's essentially a rookie. He sat out all of last year. And that was his second NFL start. So,
yeah.
But Fish, you got some stuff here.
Yeah, just obviously everybody knows the extent of Eckler's injury. He is out for the season. Any of it, I think in one of my leagues, I double dipped there, snagged him, and then Merritt. If you were lucky enough in your rookie draft to snag Merritt as the handcuff, congratulations. There is zero challenge or any type of depth back there. So congrats on essentially having RB1. He does have the capabilities out of the backfield receiving wise. We've seen in game one. Just need to jumpstart his actual run game. Could be very, very lethal there. Now, there are a lot of weapons on Washington, so it's something to be leery about. But first couple of weeks, monitor it, flex play, not a bad option. If he's still out there for some reason, probably now's time to pick him up.
Pick him up, also play him.
Without question. Yeah, so that Washington team is way too offensively good, and we kind of stated in week one, football has just been weird so far. So the Lions essentially get blanked. The Eagles didn't look great. A lot of these top teams just didn't really perform. We're kind of seeing that same trend now. The Lions did turn around. Ravens, so on and so forth. But we're starting to see Washington almost take that slower approach. Rest assured, you should be fine. Go ahead and play them. In other news, something kind of think about a little bit. Texans running backs. We're like, okay, Joe Mixon's out there. They got Marks. They just drafted him. Then they signed Nick Chubb. It's not even going to affect Joe Mixon that much. It might affect them. Now you have 2 weeks left, essentially this week and next week, until Joe Mixon is eligible to come off of IR and start playing again. Chubb's looked good. I think he broke, a 20, 25-yard touchdown the other day on the run. I mean, he looks not back to what he did, 12 surgeries ago. But it's something to kind of consider of, this is a backfield I don't want to mess around with. For the simple fact that Chubb still looks very, very good, very, very viable. And then you have Joe Mixon coming off of injury fresh. We saw what he did last year, especially early on in the season. He looked unstoppable. We talked about him looking almost 25 years old again, and then they kind of went stagnant. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to buy low on one player and take a gamble, take a risk. Both of them were roughly about the same age, same productivity, virtually same player, just a couple little injuries here and there. So it comes something to kind of think about as that week approaches, that Joe Mixon does come back. Nick Chubb might not be that versatile guy flex spot. You might have to wait a week to see who really gets the low reins or really read into it a little bit more. So, and then the last bit of news, I do want to congratulate AJ Brown. I did see his fantasy production went up a staggering 300%. I was like, holy shit, no way, that's crazy. And then I kind of forgot that it was 1.8 points last week, and then his production went to 5.4. So, again, not a time to panic. And it's all jokes aside. We have a new OC there who's almost taking that Brian Johnson approach, being very conservative. It's only a matter of time. And look, the Eagles don't really care about stats; they care about winning. So far, they've done that well, 2-0. So, if you have an Eagles receiver, sit and wait. Things might change. Things might get aggressive a little bit more, extended down the field, because both him and Devonta are not going to, sit there quietly. They'll be a little frustrated from not getting their targets. But might not be a bad option to buy low, especially in dynasty leagues, especially with the severe lack of production that they have there. So, but that's all I have on my end for now.
Did you see any reports of Joe Mixon coming back?
No, nothing yet. I just know that his time frame is coming to an end on the IR. There really hasn't been any type of like, oh, he's doing well, he's doing badly. So I'm anticipating something early next week that we'll kind of get an inkling of, hey, he's back practicing, he looks good. But there's been really no talks of him coming back outside of that 4 week time window on the IR.
Yeah,
He is going to
because
be reevaluated, is what they have said. That's about it. That's all the updates they've given, which, could be a concern. They, things aren't going well, but that's good news for Chubb owners.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's the one thing I've heard is that the lack of updates is concerning because you would figure you would hear at least something about the rehab process or about him coming back. But with Chubb, I mean, it was great to see him run in that touchdown. It just, I don't know. He does not look like the same guy. I mean, I think they're going to lean on him for a couple reasons. If you were watching the Texans game, you saw how bad their protection is right now for CJ Stroud. Nick Chubb is great at picking up blitzing linebackers, blitzing safeties, all that stuff. They even mentioned it a couple times. Like Dara Gumbawale missed a block very badly that led to CJ Stroud getting sacked. And then every time after that, Chubb was in picking up the blocks, the announcers made sure to announce that he was doing that really, really well. So he's done that his entire career. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues the Browns are having right now is that they don't have that extra guy in the backfield to stop the blitz. But he's, I agree with you guys. I think he's going to be a player that you can rely on, especially if the no news from Joe Mixon, because right now no news is not good news for Joe Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to, you need to start hearing something about him to have confidence to not keep him on your roster, but I don't know. Maybe if your roster is really shallow and you're not hearing anything about him in the next couple of weeks, he could be a guy you drop if he's not going to come back. And then if these reports of the reevaluation come out and it's bad, who knows? And also, the Eagles are the most boring team to watch right now. It is insane.
They're winning football games, though. I
They
mean,
are.
a win's a win, no matter how you do it. So
We don't need to drop 51 or keep all of our defensive players in. Well, we're up by
I
1,000
was
points, right?
I was so mad. You can ask Nutter.
He was.
Okay.
The first thing I said, what are we doing? I said, it is 4th and goal. We are up so much. Why are the starters and why are we going for it? I understand that that's the Dan Campbell mentality when you're in that spot. But like, throw the second string in there, man.
Who was
Like,
it? Brian Branch that went down and you
I was like, oh my God. I was so bad. I was so upset. But then they came out the next series. I was like, all right, cool.
Somebody give me Dan Campbell's number is what he said.
Yeah, I said, somebody give me Dan Campbell's number so I can call this motherfucker right now. I was
funny.
pissed. Liz looked at me because Arthur was there and she's like, Zach. I was like, no, he can say that. He's allowed. It's football. It's different.
Fish, before we get into our fantasy zeros, I did want to ask you this and I didn't want to put it in the doc because I want a genuine reaction.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about all this discourse about the tush push? About the guys lining up offsides? I don't think they're offsides, personally. I think people are crazy.
Look, I don't think they're offsides. I think it's pretty comical that Chris Jones and all these other Kansas City players are jumping on like, oh, we didn't get calls our way. Yeah, it's been like that for 3 fucking years, brother. I don't know. Chill out for a little bit.
Travis Kelce needs to catch the ball and not, tip it for an easy interception.
Right. So, look, we know that it's a common thing, right? When you get an unstoppable play, it's like the alley oop, the NBA, right? There's a lot of Steph Curry with his 3-pointers, all these plays and these drawn out things that a team or a player does so well that is so insane. I mean, people were bitching and complaining that Dirk's little step back or Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook. Hey, that's not fair. Nobody can really stop it. Sorry that they're gifted athletes and they're freaks. It's the same concept here, right? Not many people can stop it. It has a high 90% plus success rate. Doesn't matter how many times or how many people you line up in the box. It also helps when you have Saquon, AJ Dillon. You have these massive humans who also get in a rugby stance who Mailata played rugby, by the way, fun fact, and can get down there and push the line. I mean, it's a tactic, it's a method. It's the same thing like QB sneaks when they were first introduced, right? Nobody knew how to stop it. It's always a guaranteed yard. People are going to complain. They're going to look. They tried to ban it. I'm sure they'll try to do it again. If you can stop it, or learn how to scheme against it. Until then, I mean, there's nothing really breaking the rules. It's part of football. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't surprise me anymore that we'll do it, and then you look on social media or you watch the post game interviews, and someone's always bitching, complaining that it's not fair. We can't stop it. You got like 8 guys on that front line, including quarterback and running back, that could all deadlift 700 pounds. Don't think you guys are going to stop them regardless. So I don't know. It is what it is. I just find it comical now. It's part of the game.
Yeah, listen, I understand the question, why you're asking that question too. It's the overhead shot that everyone's analyzing because you can't see the ball. But if you go and look at the sideline, dead on, here's the ball, here's the center's head. He's perfect. He's allowed to line up that way. Now, granted, did the guards both jump? Absolutely, they did. Missed call. But then if you look at it too, pretty much every Kansas City player on the other side of the ball was lined up in the neutral zone where they're not supposed to be. Like, not just helmets. I think the helmet's allowed in the neutral zone, but it's hands that aren't. Because they can like lean over. But regardless, there was like 5 guys off sides there. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Stop it. That's Fish is right. I mean, it's literally you know where they're going. You know they're going straight ahead. Don't even line up. And put your linemen shoulder to shoulder right there. Put the linebackers on their asses and reverse tush push them. Make it a shoving match. Turn it into rugby. That's how you stop it.
I mean, that's the other thing too, is that the Eagles, they practice this in and out. They've studied how rugby players get so low and they work as a team. I mean, that's practice. It doesn't help that you've got a Lane Johnson and a Mailata and these other huge, tall, massive humans who can get that low center of gravity and push out. I don't know, but we've also seen other teams do it successfully.
I think
anything from high school to college too. We've seen it in all levels.
I think the Chargers did it. Well, they were on their own 1 yard line after an interception from Geno, one of his 3, because they didn't want to risk, fumble snap or fumbled handoff. They lined up in the tush push and they got like 2 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
Other teams are adopting it.
Yeah.
100%.
It's like I mean, it's like you said, quarterback sneaks, and then think about the forward pass when that first came into the league. Everyone was like, "What the hell is this?" I mean, that was years ago, but
it'd be one thing if it was a dangerous and but people were getting injured, like severe injuries left and right. But all you're doing is just pushing. I don't know. Other teams do it. No one's bats an eye. Eagles do it, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's all Hurts does." I don't know what you want to say.
I think the offense is more at risk at getting hurt. Honestly, the running back and the quarterback, because Jalen Hurts is literally just being pushed. Half the time he is not on the ground; he is in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So Dickerson hates it. He came out the other day and was like, "Yeah, no, that's shit." When they call it, especially there was one game where he called it like 6 or 7 times within the first 2 drives, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, this is the worst shit in the world." So. Not surprised. So it's a good time though. We like it. It works.
I
like watching it
too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see the Lions scheme against it. Let's see what they do.
Oh, when's that game?
Week 8, I believe.
That'll be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Philly too. That's a rough game.
That will be a rough one. But let's get on to our zeros of the week, and there's plenty of them we could go over, but I'm just going to highlight 3 names. Breece Hall, thought he was back after last week. He's not. So
it's the Jets, man.
Hopefully he bounces back. Hopefully he's not a yo-yo candidate where he's positive some games, negative some games, but he didn't do anything. Brian Thomas Jr. had 12 targets against the Bengals, only caught 4 of them. he is nursing a wrist injury. Hopefully that's the whole crux of this situation. But
it showed. It really showed that he was. I don't know. It was something must have happened. I think it was a play where he was coming over the middle and he got popped.
mm-hmm.
Ever since then, it was he'll extend his arm out and then feel like he's getting a little too far from his body and then would pull back right for the catch. So there was a lot of times where he was afraid for that hit because of maybe the wrist injury or when he got popped. But he needs to snap out of that stuff real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
he plays a physical sport where he's a receiver. He has to go over the middle. He can't just run drags and straights. So
and people drafted him in the first couple rounds probably this year because of that performance last year.
Oh yeah, he was untouchable
with Mac Jones.
That's what I'm saying. Then you get like, you get him a halfway decent quarterback guy with long hair that's 9 feet tall, the size of a giraffe. And you figure you just throw it down the field. It should be a no-brainer. He should be putting 20+ points up every week.
Especially when everyone's freaking out about Travis Hunter too.
It looked bad, especially against the Bengals defense.
That is bad.
And when his team needed him the most, he underperformed.
He dropped a touchdown.
It's a mental game. I think he's in his head. He needs to get popped one more time and go, oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah, okay, cool. We can go ahead and go on with it. So it's going to be shaky for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I think, for him until he mentally snaps out of it.
He's got the yips.
He's got the yips.
Just the yips are there. And then the last player I'm going to bring up is Zach Charbonnet. 15 carries, 10 yards. Abysmal performance.
Let me tell you, this Seahawks, I got rid of Kenny Walker in a couple of leagues because the timeshare at any minute, Charbonnet, which we saw last year, Charbonnet is going to pop off and is going to take the lead role. They didn't like Kenny Walker for some reason. I don't know. He performs well and then doesn't. So you're thinking, okay, yeah, I definitely just don't want to deal with the headache. Let me just get rid of Kenny Walker for what he can. Charbonnet gets the majority of the carries, majority of the snap count, and then -5 yards? What are we doing? This whole backfield, it doesn't make sense. And I'm glad I only have Charbonnet in a couple leagues for handcuffs, and he's never seen the positions. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But then Kenny Walker popped off, didn't he?
He did. He had 10 carries for 105 yards, or maybe 13 carries. But yeah, he only played 35% of snaps to Charbonnet's 55%, I believe, and it showed. I mean, or it didn't show because Kenny Walker was apparently playing against a different defense than Zach Charbonnet was. I don't know if
I don't know.
They might just run him more on stretch run play concepts because he's quicker, but I don't know. That was tough. That was tough to see. But Fish, you have a couple guys, and then Zoltowski you do as well.
I do. I'm just going to go ahead and touch on them. I know there's a couple that we touched on last week too. Derrick Henry, I mean, the guy had 160 yards in the first half and then finished with 5?
Something like that.
And,
yeah.
I mean, talk about a guy who you're like, yeah, he's going to blow him out of the water. This should be an easy one. And then you're like, I don't know what's going on. Didn't they put up 51 points?
I think they put up 41 points.
Oh, excuse me, 41 points, and Derrick Henry has 5 yards? Okay, I must be stoned. I don't know what's going on.
Well, their people, their receivers and tight ends must have done pretty well, right? Especially their tight ends. They love to throw the ball at the tight ends.
Yeah, speaking of tight ends, Mark Andrew I hope he's listening. He's a big piece of shit, let me tell you. There's no way that Isaiah Likely is out again, and he's the only person there, and he goes, I'm going to go ahead and drop a touchdown pass. I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple passes. At this point, Mark Andrews is droppable. Drop him like a sack of potatoes. That guy is a worthless shitbag. Get rid of him.
God damn.
Get rid of him. That guy is for a high-powered offense with a lot of weapons. I'm glad that they're getting Isaiah Flowers his flowers and shit, and they're actually using him this time, like they did last 3 years. Mark Andrews has been a safety valve for Lamar for however long Lamar's been playing there. What happened? And then Isaiah Likely, he comes in. It's just I don't know.
Lamar used to be so tight end dependent, and he's just not throwing to tight ends this year.
I'm glad he's practiced the throw to receivers. And it's frustrating.
I'm good.
I remember when Mark Andrews was, if you had him on your team, he's guaranteed, you better have a backup for that bye week for your tight end spot because he was in there every single week because he was catching everything. And I think he's still got the yips from last year when he dropped that ball in the end zone.
And let me tell you, this may be anecdotal evidence here, but let me tell you something. He destroys the Browns every time they play against each other. Like, I'm talking 2 touchdowns usually. It just, Mark Andrews is in the end zone somewhere to catch the football, and he wasn't there this week. They did beat him, but
he was there. He just dropped it in the end zone. So at this point in my mind, look, if you got a couple tight ends or a halfway decent one with like 2 legs, 2 arms, can read and write, go ahead and fucking play him. Mark Andrews is not worth the headache. And to go ahead and go, oh, the Ravens are up by 30,000. You look and he goes, he's got 2 receptions. Sick. Must be a really good blocker.
He had to do something.
How hard did you want to throw your phone through a wall?
Well, thank God I won in 8 of my 9 leagues. So we're big chilling over here. In other news, Drake London, for a guy that's got great chemistry with Michael Penix, who Michael Penix has looked pretty decent. Just couldn't get it going. He caught that ball over the middle, nice deepish ball, was running and got it punched out, and then just kind of never recovered there. Finished on the lower end on the side there, especially with that high-powered offense. Bijan, it was just Bijan doing Bijan things, turning it up in the field. He did not score, but I still think he had 19 or 20 points, which shows his reception and his on-the-ground movement. Another tight end that Nut you traded for, TJ Hawkinson. The guy is almost on the Mark Andrews level of you were great, you go to one team, and then you were just not used. Can't catch anything. And we talk about this all the time, right? Tight ends, you got 2 or 3, 4 guys maybe top that, your McBrides, your other players like that'll get you consistent points, and then that drop off, it is plummet. Like, it's some guys are like, yeah, you can get 3 points or you can pop off. By the way, pop off for 5. That's how the spread is bad. TJ Hawkinson, non-existent for the 2nd week in a row. I'd be a little worried. Then again, that whole offense is just not there. Could change, though. Could change this week.
I got a new name for him. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
TJ Hawkins sucks.
Ooh, I thought you were calling TJ Droppinson.
Or that could work too.
I was really upset when the Lions traded him away because he was
good,
highly used in the Lions offense. He was really good. But now I'm just like, hey, I'll take Laporta, who's also not doing so well. But
is he another Iowa tight end? TJ Hawkinson?
I believe so. Iowa is tight end university, man. Tight end university right there. Big old farm boys.
Honestly, with how bad he's played this year, this next week is the week for him to do something. Playing the Bengals suck against tight ends.
Hold on now. You said I remember. I had like a little flashback. I remember somebody saying this shit.
Harold Fannin did very well against the Bengals. He just picked the wrong tight end.
Well, I didn't know Harry Fannin was going to be so involved. Like, nobody did. Apparently, he's a savant at route running, though. Seen a couple clips of his route running. It's just crispy.
It's the Maction, baby. We love some good Maction.
But a couple other guys. Before we go ahead and deviate to the next path here, Mike Evans, he still had like 8 or 9 fantasy points, but 5 for 11, 56 yards. For him, it's a 0 for what his production has been the last 38 years he's been in the league. It's just a little uncommon to see him have so many targets and so less receptions and little yards. So a little bit of 0 on the Mike Evans scale, but again, 9 points isn't bad. Talk about a fantasy dud for rookie draft, specifically for dynasties, right? We was looking for the diamond in the rough player, and you're like, oh, okay, I need a tight end. I can wait. This guy goes to a high-powered offense. You're like, okay, saw this guy in college. He did great things. Up and up. All signs point up. Unless your name is Colston Loveland, because that shit points down. Had 0 points this week. Had minimal points last week. I understand, and it's not like Caleb Williams is playing bad. He's actually playing pretty well. Um, like we said earlier, there's too many weapons on this team. Caleb's only cool comment is being used every once in a while. It's just it doesn't make any sense. It's a dud from Loveland, and I don't see it changing unless something happens. The cool comment, he goes down on injury, or Caleb decides to open his eyes and say, "Oh, there's Loveland." Outside of that, I this is a bad fantasy pickup, and I know a lot of people drafted him in the first round, high in the first round. It's a tough pill to swallow on that one.
I think thankfully I picked him up on waivers. But yeah, I've been waiting. I think he's still in the taxi squad for me, but I've been waiting to be able to pull him off of there because, like, Michigan guy. Loved watching him in Michigan, especially 2023. He had a fantastic year. He got hurt at the end of his senior season. But I think they really drafted him at this point, it looks like, to be a run blocking tight end because their run game has looked better since they drafted him because he did that well in college. He's big. He's 6 something 240. He's a big guy.
6'6", yeah.
So yeah, he's a big guy, and Michigan run heavy offense as well, so he got a lot of use in there. But I think you're right with I don't agree with the Caleb playing well. He still looks like he's running like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, yeah, he's putting up points, but that's a lot of his receivers making good catches and good plays after the catch. But yeah, I'm upset about that one. Been waiting to put him in, but he hasn't done jack shit. But speaking of guys I have put in that haven't done jack shit, let's talk about my first fantasy asshole, Cortland Sutton, wide receiver 1 for the Denver Broncos. You think, hey, Bo Nix had a great year. He had a great year last year. God, I'm sorry. I had it pulled up at 3.6 points. 1 for 4, 6 yards. Troy Flanken, wide receiver 3, rookie that they drafted, by the way, 26 points. Marvin Mims, wide receiver 2, had 10 points. I don't know what's going on there. Second week in a row, he's just been a dud. I know they lost a close one in Indy, but you look to him, maybe he's getting double covered. I didn't watch the game, but it's frustrating, thinking, hey, I can put him in, he's going to get some points, and then drops another big fat dud on me. And then the entire Kansas City Chiefs running back core, they have no run game. Pacheco, he under 10 points again. Kareem Hunt, 4 points. They're not throwing out of the backfield. And I don't think the Eagles blitzed a ton, if I remember, in that game.
They don't need to.
Yeah, they don't need to. But, it's just frustrating. Talk about this high-powered Chiefs offense. I know we've talked about it before, about how they don't run the ball because they don't, they have all these offensive weapons. Travis Swift. Get your head out of your ass. You're engaged. It's awesome. Catch the fucking ball. Score a touchdown. Block. So you can run the ball. You got to establish the run game so you can run play action so that they load the box so you can get your Xavier Worthy, he runs a 4.22 40. It's really fucking fast. So he can get open because they're bringing an extra guy in. So he's only got to beat 1, maybe 2 guys instead of 3 or 4. It's just frustrating. I'm glad they're losing. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but I wish they would be more high powered like they looked last year.
Yeah. No, Miss Patty doesn't have a lot of time right now. And they also played against 2 very, very good run defenses the first 2 weeks, the Chargers and the Eagles. So I don't know if I'm completely writing off the Chiefs running back core yet. They've also been playing from behind. So Patrick Mahomes has had to rely on those shells of receivers that he has out there to try and get back into the game. And he's also been running the ball himself a lot. So,
I think he's the team leader in rushing right now.
No, he is. Yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, he's Patty Mahomes. He's gonna do Patrick Mahomes things. We've seen some of the throws he's already made this year. I think week 1 against the Chargers in Brazil, he's falling forward, does a little layup for like a 15-yard game.
Yeah.
But again, fuck them.
No, I get what you're saying, but let's move on to our fantasy heroes from the week. Who wants to start? Fish, you want to start? This guy was on my bench, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know I got a text from Liz, Zach's wife, who this guy is. He seems to be pretty good. Kind of realized that I forgot I had him in a league. Started him, and we'll be starting him going forward. It seems like he's the absolute staple in this offense, which honestly has beaten two top seven teams, and is kind of looking scary. Not super scary, but scary enough to be like, yeah, kind of on the radar. Tucker Kraft. Glad to see. And again, we keep talking about tight ends. There's a huge gap between the elite and the good, fantasy wise at least, right? And obviously, there's other implications for a tight end. You got run, pass block, route running. They're a utility player at this front, but Tucker Kraft has done it all so far. We've seen him block with the Packers. We've seen him run elite routes, get open. The more impressive thing is his speed and breakaway yards after the catch. Um, he has popped off. He's projected 8.5 points this week. Popped off for 22, essentially 23 on a 91% snap count. I know they have Musgrove or whatever the guy is, who looked like was going to be in a competition. I know they had three young tight ends, including Kraft, to see, okay, who's going to take over the reins. Packers love their tight ends.
They do.
This is one of those things where I think Kraft kind of has that on lock now. Musgrove is just not a factor. Kraft went 6 for 7 for 124 and a touchdown. It seems like Jordan Love is kind of going back into what he did 2 years ago and is settling down, finding his receivers, which, by the way, his receivers are still all over the place. It's still a crapshoot of who's going to get the ball, who's going to throw to, who's the number one, who's the number two. The number one here consistently is Kraft and will be Kraft going forward. I think that they realize that they have taken down the Lions and the Commanders utilizing Kraft, whether it's him just catching it in the end zone or really utilizing him over the middle this past week that we saw, and him really use the yards after catch to really kind of break that open. So Tucker Kraft is going to be my fantasy hero this week. Not only just an incredible player, an elite player this week, but on a tight end level, this is you're almost going to see Mark Andrew when they used him those type of numbers consistently. I think they've realized that, yeah, the receivers are a shit show. I know it can count on one person. It's going to be Tucker Kraft. Pretty versatile there. So happy with this one.
Which league are you getting these points from? Because he, in the super active that we're in, he got 24.4.
I think that was a little different. I based it off of Metropolis or Dynasty.
Okay, I'm not in either of those
half
ones.
PPR leagues, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Metropolis is tight end premium too. Anyways, you're completely right. I mean, he caught I want to say 40+ yard bomb for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Tight ends are immensely good when there's a good running game. They're the beneficiaries mostly of play action. So a guy like Josh Jacobs, he's a beast. He was a beast last year. He's going to be a beast this year. And they're having to respect that. So that's why Tucker Kraft can get open on plays like that. And I definitely don't think that's the only time we're going to see that happen this year. So that's a great fantasy hero. I'm probably going to be starting him over any other tight end option I have in that league from now on. So, which is TJ Hawkins sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
The other
fucking
option.
hate that the Packers look so good.
They do. They look amazing. So I'm going to go next. I'm going to go with Travis Etienne. So Travis was projected 13.01 points this week. He did outperform that. He got 16.9, 60% or 66% snap percentage, 14 rushing attempts for 71 yards. He had 2 receptions on 3 targets for 18 yards and a touchdown. So last year, we all know that the Jags struggled everywhere. The biggest part of that was their backfield. So Etienne was looking like he was lost a step last year. There was a lot of confusion when it came to which back was going to start and play, Etienne or Tank Bigsby. 2 years ago, Travis Etienne finished the running back 3 in PPR formats. He had 267 carries that year. Last year, he took a giant downslide, finished RB35, only had 150 carries over the entire season. And right now, he's RB9 in PPR formats, 30 carries so far in the year, on pace for 255 this year. Tank Bigsby's gone. So that's the important thing. Tank Bigsby's gone. Etienne for the last 2 weeks has been a very good play for the Jacksonville Jaguars and for also fantasy football. This week, that rookie Bashal Tutton, I think is how you say his name, was more involved, but Etienne still did produce. And I think going forward, he's going to be a guy you can rely on. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to recapture what he did 2 years ago, but he's going to be a lot closer to that than what he did in 2024. So he's my fantasy hero for this week because I had to rely on him to bail me out of whatever Breece Hall decided to call a football game. So
yeah, it's a good call, that one.
Yep. So I got my 0 here, and we're going back to the NFC North. Talked about it a little bit earlier, but for me, this week's guy who unfortunately sat on my bench, even though he won me my week 1 matchup, and I meant to put him in and just completely blanked on it. But it's Rome Odunze, the only bright side of the Chicago Bears offense, in my opinion. Projected to get 10.93 points. Popped off, as Fish likes to say, for 31.8 and 100% of the snaps. 7 catches on 11 targets for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. I still think Caleb looks like shit. He's running around. He's not making good decisions. A little bit of that comes into the offensive line play. I know they got some new pieces this year. It's week 2. They're working out the kinks. New head coach. Probably a whole new system from last year. But bright spot for Browns fans. Rome Odunze is looking real good. He's on the depth chart. He's listed as wide receiver 2 below DJ Moore. He's gunning for that wide receiver 1 slot. Yeah. He's going to take that. So he's got 3 touchdowns in 2 games this year. That's the same amount he had all last season. So this could be his breakout year. I'd probably be starting him from now on. Just a little tidbit, not my start of the week, but they play Dallas this week, and Dallas got torched by Russ Let Me Cook Wilson for 450. So look for him this week to have another big game because he's a big receiver, gets out there, he gets open, catches the ball, and can make some guys miss in space. I know on his 28-yard touchdown, he made 2 Lions defenders miss and walked in the end zone. So
I'm sorry, you should say Russ dropped 450 yards in Dallas?
It was something nuts.
He cooked for too long and he burnt the game.
Here, I'll get the stats. Give me a second.
Russ was in the oven for 450. Yes, that's what.
Yep. 453 touchdowns, by the way, 1 pick. But which cost them a game, but
Russ being Russ.
Yeah. 450 yards. And I think, again, it was week 1, but I think they held the Eagles to 150 passing yards. Not a lot.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they really held us to 150 or we just, scripted because we have
a
running back and then a quarterback running back and then another running back. So
no, yeah. But yeah, it was wild. But I mean, still, you talk about the Giants, and that game went to overtime. I thought the Giants had it until Russ fucking just threw up a bomb for no reason at the end. I think it was 3rd down, and Turpin picked it off, or whoever Deron Bland, whatever his name is, one of them. And then they had, that kicker that's got a cannon for a leg. It's not just a leg. We need to get that checked.
A certified cannon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of cannons, we forgot to mention Rigoberto Sanchez has not seen the field this year because the Colts have not punted once.
That's crazy. A wild stat line. The Daniel Jones hype is wild. Again, I think they're 2-0.
Yeah.
They're 2-0.
Beat a very good Broncos team.
Very good Broncos team. Now, granted, they got lucky on the penalty that moved them forward 15 yards after they missed the field goal.
Yeah.
but a win's a win, man. And if you're a Colts fan, someone's got to talk to Jim Tasty and see what high he's riding right now. Because I know he's a big Indiana guy.
I'm sure he's pumped.
So that's wild. That's absolutely wild.
Do you guys think Russ says anything funny in New York? Like he did in
Probably
Denver?
Giants country. Let's ride. I look, it was between Russ, let me cook Wilson, or Russ, let's ride Wilson. And I like the let me cook better.
It's probably
because he flew too close to the sun like Icarus and then just
Russell Icarus Wilson is what we'll call him from now on.
Icarus Wilson. He's hallucinating. It's 2013 again.
Yeah. Let's get on to our fantasy starts of the week, and I'm going to go last.
Oh, okay.
Since you guys are picking the same game and since I almost did as well, why don't Fish, why don't you go ahead and start?
My guy, I think, should be a start, especially if you were lackluster in a quarterback. Someone hasn't performed. I know Justin Fields also went down.
Oh, that's right.
It's just, if you need a quarterback and a guy who understands the system, been in the system for at least 5 years, has developed rapport in practice, in games with your elite receiving core and your running backs, it only makes sense to go with Jake Browning, especially now that he has the opportunity for not only a week or 2 weeks to start and then, go back to the bench. He's got 3 months. Now, this is also a big deal for Jake. I don't know what his goals are. Does he want to go play somewhere else? Does he want to start, or is he content with being a backup? But this is a great time for him to showcase his skills and capabilities. We've seen a lot of these guys step in, a lot of these backups, and they eventually take over the starting role. Not saying it would happen here, but Joe Burrow there, but we've seen a lot of these guys pop off and then go to a different team. So Jake Browning is going to be my start for today, or I guess for this week, and then ongoing if you need a quarterback. The reason is, one, his knowledge. It's not like he just came in. He's not like a normal backup where he's been passed around from team to team like Carson Wentz has. He's been in the system, been on the team for 5 years. He's developed our team one reps chemistry with your elite receiving core. I just don't see how this fails. We already know, and we kind of saw that Chase, I think, is going to get either Chase Brown or Jamar Chase. He's going to force feed those guys. This past week, we kind of saw and he showcased that he's got that, you know what? If it happens, it happens, right? If it's a pick, it's a pick. If it's a bad throw, it's a bad throw. I'm just going to go out there and go ahead and sling it and see who's down there. I think Chase had, 13 or 15 targets for like 11 or 13 receptions. It was pretty damn good. Kind of see that going forward. I think the Bengals realize and understand that their defense has stepped up a little bit, but they're going to need, and we say this all the time, feed your best players, and they're going to have to feed Chase, Higgins, and Chase. The tight ends, I think, is going to be null and void. I think Noah Fant going there, great, but it's a cool thing. It's not sexy by any means. I am not panicked in the slightest if I'm the Bengals offense or any fantasy manager for that team, especially going on this week, playing a very, very lackluster team in the Minnesota Vikings. They are not the same defense that they were last year, and it shows, and it's a big problem. Also doesn't help that JJ has showcased great things in the offseason and preseason and practice, and then can't translate that into actual game time. With him being out, you should probably see a little less 3-and-outs, so their defense shouldn't be out there so often. But it's the battle of the backups on this one, and I'm taking Jake Browning. It makes the most sense. He's going to, again, force feed his good players. You're going to see similar to great stats from those receivers. If I need a quarterback, I might pick him up if he's still out there in a couple leagues just so other people can't get him. I know those Joe Burrow players, and watch one thing, by the way, if you're a manager of Joe Burrow, to have Jake Browning not as your handcuff is wild to me. But my go-to this week in a start, if you need him, if Danny Dimes isn't out there, Jake Browning is my next guy to go to.
I like that pick.
I do too. I mean, he's got the better receivers right now. Maybe that'll change for in the next couple of weeks for Minnesota, but yeah, I mean, the Bengals are going to throw the ball. That's just who they are. It's what they're going to do, no matter who's back there. So they have to get those guys that they paid $140, $160 million the ball, and Jake Brown's going to be the facilitator for that. So excited to see what he does. He was good. What was it, 2 years ago when he came in? So yeah, I think it's a great pick.
I bet the Bengals wish they would have paid them the year before so they could have got him for cheaper. Like, Jake Browning's a good pick. Like I said, I like it. You know, they've got a lot of weapons. We talked about earlier, he's going to throw the ball down there. But, you know, if they'd have saved some money, they could have went and got like Kirk Cousins, who's just riding the bench right now, who's also an established.
It's still an option. I mean, Kirk Cuddy can still play, but
he likes to chase the bag at this point, man. He's going for money.
There's no way they can afford Cousins, can they?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that I don't even know if the Falcons can even get rid of him. I think it would cost too much on their cap space, and it's all guaranteed money. So whatever team gets him, is going to have to do that contract. It's still Kirk Cousins is done.
Yeah, still wild that they signed that contract and then drafted Penix in the first round. But I mean,
it worked out.
Not from a cap space standpoint, but
Bengals can have Deshaun.
Yeah. But I my start of the week, I'm going to actually go on the opposite side here. Pull a player from Minnesota who I've been riding this wave all year. I wrote it last year. We called it when CMC went down. Jordan Mason, the best running back in the league, as we like to call him. We talked about Carson Wentz a little bit earlier. He does like to air it out down there. He's been in the system for a while. He's got Jay Jettas, Jordan Addison missing, Jalen Nailor's, nothing to shake a stick at. He's not bad. Adam Thielen, veteran guy there, back home. I still think Jordan Mason's going to get more involved. Aaron Jones is out. We saw the 50-50 split. He's had 2 light games. Week 1, 8.5 points on 1 reception, 68 yards, 7 receiving yards. This past week, the offense struggled as a whole. 2 receptions, 30 yards on 9 carries, and 8 receiving yards. But the Bengals going into this know that Jay Jettas is the threat. They are going to, put their number 1, who is another team's number 3 cornerback, on him, probably double cover him, look for a lot of quick outs, bailout throws. They'll try to get the run game established so they can get that play action going. I like him. I got him started. He's projected to get 17.03 points against the Bengals this week. So high upside. I'd throw him flex or RB2, depending on your situation. If you're, rocking a Pacheco and some other trash ass running back that hasn't done anything all year, to put him in the RB1. I mean, if your options are limited, RB1 him, try to pick up some scraps. But Aaron Jones always, unfortunately, gets hurt and misses at least one game or comes out of the game every year. It always happens because I had him on my team last year and he fucked me 7 weeks, I think it was, where he came out in like the second quarter and didn't go back in because he pulled his hamstring or fucked up his ankle or I picked up Jordan Mason.
Tonight.
I barely squeaked out a win against shout out Nova, shout out Cameron Dicker for not having to kick field goals because the Chargers were scoring. And I don't remember who else he had, but they didn't do anything. And then I got my ass handed to me in Super Active. I barely scored 100 points. That team I have is hot ass and a half. I see why whoever was in there left the league because that team is fucking awful. So, but we're here for it. And now I want to talk about your pick.
Yeah, you kind of just named my pick there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I name dropped him. I didn't even mean to. I didn't even think about it because I was fueled by rage.
All right, so I did this last week. I took a pick that I didn't really like. It's not going to be the most attractive pick, and it failed me. So why not do it again? This is going to be a get-right game for not only the Chiefs, but Isaiah Pacheco specifically. So Pacheco has been really disappointing over the last two games, and honestly, last year as well. Even though he was injured for most of it, but stop. So there's no secrets that there's not a lot of confidence right now for anyone that runs the ball in Kansas City, unless it's Patrick Mahomes. But this week the Chiefs do play the New York Giants. The Giants defense has not been good thus far this season, ranking dead last at rushing yards allowed. They've played the Cowboys and they played help me, game 1, Eagles, right?
Nope.
Yeah, we played Kansas City week 1.
Damn, I did just look this up too. Washington. They played Washington. Anyways, if there was ever a week for Pacheco return to his former glory, it's going to be this week. He's been on the field. He's been the most volume running back that they've had on the field. He's been on the field for over 50% of snaps every single game this year. He just hasn't been getting the ball. Mainly that's probably because of game script. The Chiefs have been down the last two games. It's not something that they're used to. They've been having to throw the ball a lot to get back in the game, rely on Mahomes to get back in the game. But this week I feel like it's going to be different. I don't think that they're going to go down against the Giants early. I don't think that the Giants are going to cause any sort of issues for them offensively. I think that Chiefs defense is going to hold up pretty well against Russell Wilson. And I think they're going to have to secure the win, really change up what they do, because the Chiefs don't want to go 0-3. There's no hopes for playoffs if the Chiefs go 0-3 to start the season. So they're going to switch up what they do offensively. They're going to run the rock more. They're going to have to give Pacheco the ball and let him go back to what he used to do. So I think Pacheco is going to get a lot more carries this week than he has in previous weeks, and I think he's going to outdo what he's projected to do, which I should have written down, but I completely forgot to do so.
He's projected at 9.26 points.
Yeah, so I think he's going to do much better than 9.26 points against the New York Giants this week.
Look, I've never disagreed with a pick more than this one.
It's fine.
I don't like it. We've talked about Kansas City's run game and how it's non-existent.
We have
Pacheco has just been underperforming. You know, they've got Sexy Dexy there, who's going to cause some chaos. They've got Abdul Carter, who's going to try and cause some chaos. The Giants look like a different team than they were last year. They're at home. I had it pulled up. I went away. They are 6.5 point favorites. That's it.
Who, the Chiefs?
I think, yeah.
That's a lot of points, dude.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah, but that's over a touchdown. Most games are like 1-2 points.
Oh, yeah, touchdown, extra points.
Fine.
Look, I'm just not a fan. And maybe it's because I'm pissed at Pacheco. It's probably because I'm pissed at Pacheco. I just don't think
pretty salty.
He's gonna. I think they're gonna go with Kareem Hunt. He, to me, from what I've seen, has been running the ball better. I just don't like it. I don't. I see where you're coming from with your stats and your analytics, but I just think there's too much going wrong with the Chiefs right now that it's just not going to happen. I don't think they're going to lose this game, but I think the passing game is just going to work and they're just going to stick with it. And they're going to try and have a show out game and be like, don't worry, guys, we're still here.
I mean, that definitely could be, but I think that Andy Reid's going to realize he has to do something other than just throw the ball to
You're
receivers.
100% right. 100%. They do need to establish a run game. I just don't think that it's going to be this quick of a turnaround.
I guess we will see. But I mean, Pacheco has been on the field a lot more than Kareem has. He was on the field for 58% of snaps last week. I'll give it to you, he didn't do much with it, but they only ran the ball overall like 18 times in the whole game. That wasn't a Patrick Mahomes scamper. So I think if they give him the ball and they let him actually run the rock like he used to, which they should do this week because they're going to be up from the beginning because the Giants defense is awful. They're dead last in rushing yards allowed. And they're not that great in the pass game either. So I don't know. I could be totally wrong this week again, but I think Pacheco, I'm just trying to give people confidence out there that they can at least stick him in a flex spot. I'm not saying he's going to score 20 points or anything like that, but I think he's going to do better than 9.26.
He's riding the hell out of my bench, and he might stay there for the rest of the year. I might put him.
That's fine. Talk to me after next week.
You know what? And I'll admit if I'm wrong. I 100% will. You know I will. But it's got a bad feeling about it.
It's all right. We shall see. So,
or he's gonna pull an Aaron Rodgers, and because MetLife Stadium their turf is trash, and he's gonna fucking get hurt on the first play.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, we don't want that to happen. No, but
so salty.
So salty.
Oh, need some fries, some chips.
Mr.
Go with all the
Spittoon
salt
over here.
God, it's bad.
All right, so we have our week 3 pick'em this week. We made a little bit of adjustments to the graphic, made it a little bit bigger, easier to see. So let's start with the Thursday night game. I believe we are all in agreement here. Miami goes into
Bills,
Buffalo.
yeah.
So let me go ahead and just put these on here.
We flex this game to like Sunday at 4 a.m.
Yeah, and then next week, I hope Thursday night games continue to be good because other than this week, obviously, but it's really nice having a decent game on Thursday. Green Bay goes into Cleveland. I'm going to be at this game, and we may leave early because Green Bay is just going to annihilate us.
Yep, maybe the Cheeseheads, unfortunately.
All right, and then we got another gimme here. We got Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans, which they looked a little bit better last week, but still no match for what Danny Dimes is doing right now. Then we have the interesting game, the battle of the backups, as Fish like to call it. What do we think is going to happen here?
It's a toss-up, but give me Minnesota. I think they're gonna try and bounce back. I think I like Carson Wentz more than Jake Browning because he has more experience. Like I said, that Cincinnati does have the weapons though, but Jake Browning also threw 3 interceptions in 2.5 quarters, and I think turnovers are what's going to kill them.
I do tend to lean with Zoltowski here, even though he was very mean to me about my start of the week. I think you're right. I think
but the term Vikings, is brutally honest.
I think the Vikings are gonna pull this one out. Fish, what about you?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Bengals on this one.
Gonna go with the Bengals?
Okay. I think they're just gonna force feed Chase, and it's just gonna be tough to stop.
It's gonna be an interesting game to watch for sure. It'll be on the TV for me because I don't have Sunday ticket where I can watch 4 games at once, unfortunately, because it's too expensive. But it's on, like I said, over. it's a toss up. That's a long drive, and Arthur did not nap last time.
True. Yeah.
He went to bed when we left, and he stayed asleep all night. He didn't wake up until the next morning.
So Steelers and Pats, huh?
Yeah, Steelers and Pats.
Pitchers looked good last week.
Give me the Pats.
Fish.
Shout out Bosom.
I will also take the Pats.
I'm not really sure about this game. I just think there might be too much experience on the Steelers side, but I guess I'll go with the Pats as well for now.
Look, Drake May's figuring it out. Rabes is figuring it out. They're starting to get their system together. It's fucking what was it? Ramondre Stevenson looked good. Antonio Gibson, I think, ran a kick return back.
Yes, right after
Like the teams, they're starting to piece it together. So, Keishon Butte had a good game. Steelers are just way too up and down. Mike Tomlin's got to lose. He's got to lose his 8 or 9 games a year. I think this is one of them.
Yeah. And then we have the Eagles and the Rams. I just think Saquon's probably going to run for a 70-yard bomb again.
I hope he does. I need the points.
Fish, I assume you're also going Eagles.
I don't think so, Bob. I think with Adoree Jackson being back there has me worried. With the new offensive coordinator that we have that doesn't stretch the field, I see them dropping this game. I think it'd be a good drop. I think that would be a eye opener for Sirianni to be like, all right, guys, stop with this bullshit. We're way too conservative. Let's get back to what we were doing.
Yep.
I can see them easily not stopping Puka and just him having a career game. Plus, the run really hasn't been the run stop hasn't been the best either. So, I unfortunately am a little bit of a realist. I think the Rams are coming back in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and this would be the perfect opportunity for them to kind of put their foot to our throats. So, I think the Rams
a trap game for the Eagles.
I think so.
Okay.
I think now, if Kellen Moore was back there, I think the Eagles take it hands down. But new OC, Rams got a good front. They got a great front. They're gonna stop Barkley, and when that happens, what are we gonna do? Slants over the middle? As much fucking fun as that is, we would need game altering changes. But we also did this last time, then we fired what's his face, and then we won a Super Bowl. So can't win them all.
Zoltowski, what are you leaning for this game?
Fish makes some really good points. I like the Eagles. I like how they've won close games. They're finding a way to win. Puka has looked extremely good. They do have a good front, but I just think the Eagles front is a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. I hope I'm wrong. I think they're going to get back there to Stafford, and he's getting older. His back's been a problem. I think they're going to get a couple hits on him. He might have to come out. I hope he doesn't. I love the guy. But I think the Eagles squeak this out probably by 3 points.
Yeah.
By Jake Elliott field goal as time expires to win the game.
I don't know what the spread is on this game. Do you guys?
I have it pulled up. Give me just a second. It is. Where did it go? Philly by 3.5.
Okay.
And they're at home too. Is another.
Yeah, they're at the.
Is another factor. LA's got that time change. I know obviously they're going to travel a couple days in advance, but the 3-hour time change does make a difference. I think it does at least.
Yeah.
So.
We have New York going to Tampa Bay.
Give me the Bucks.
I'm going Tampa as well, but I'm a little concerned for Baker. He got sacked 4 times last game. He's really missing Tristan Wirfs. I don't know when he's supposed to be back, but I don't know. He seemed like he was being rushed a lot last game, and I think I wanted to bring this up when you were talking about Mike Evans, but I think that was a big contributing factor to Mike Evans' detriment this week.
Cool.
Well, Justin Fields, I think, is also out with a concussion.
Yeah.
Or he's questionable. He had a concussion. So
yeah.
Tyrod Taylor goes out there. I mean, we've seen backups perform, but the Jets, they can't really get anything going.
Yeah.
It seems like they looked really, really good week 1, and then they went and played the Bills, who played a good football team, and absolutely fell apart. So.
Next game, we have Vegas against Washington.
Easy.
Washington.
Even without Jaden Daniels, if he doesn't play.
Yeah, you can put Hooper back there. So they win it. Genty does not look good.
Genty doesn't look good.
No. And that's too more of an O-line problem. Their O-line doesn't. Gino threw 3 picks. He's just kind of launching the ball up there when he doesn't have anything to go to. And yeah, I think Washington bounces back after a tough loss in Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't think Gino completed a pass over 10 yards last night.
No.
And they also had a 11-minute drive that ended in a field goal.
Yep.
They're just shooting themselves in the foot left and right with no big plays. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you guys there. Atlanta, Carolina. This one's easy. Atlanta.
Yep.
Give me Atlanta here. Then we have Houston going into Jacksonville. Houston has had some issues. You going Jags?
Yeah. I'm also going the Jags.
As long as they ride the Etienne train, I think they'll be fine.
Yep.
I
think they should have. I thought they were going to beat the Bengals. I really did. It was a close one.
I'm just sticking with Houston here. I just think they're better coached.
CJ's been struggling.
Yes, he has.
So,
all right. Then we go to our Sunday 4:00 slate. We have the Broncos going into LA, take on the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
Chargers can't run the ball.
Yeah, but
I mean, they've got 3 receivers that can catch the ball very well.
Yeah, Herbert's been elite. What's his face finally realized he had actually 2 hands.
Quentin Johnson.
That are
meant to start him too.
Extra stick him. So
Keenan Allen
just makes sense.
Yeah, Lad McConkey.
Keenan Allen looks great again.
I think this is another good game. I think it's possibly a shootout because Bo Nix has also played very well this year, spreading the ball around a lot. But I think the Chargers take it.
All right, next one we have here, New Orleans going into Seattle. Sorry, Noah.
Yeah.
Saints might go 0-17 this year.
Definitely has that.
Taysom Hill might start at quarterback when he comes back. Which, no, he has. Spencer Rattler has a better quarterback rating than Caleb does right now.
Spencer hasn't looked bad. What about this next game? This one's going to be an interesting one. What's the line on this game, Zoltowski? I'm curious.
I don't know why I put it down. It is Chicago 1.5 at Soldier Field.
Chicago plus 1.5?
Yeah, Chicago 1.5 point favorites.
Okay.
But give me the Cowboys.
You going Dallas? Fish you as well?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I think they have an established run game for some reason. Javonte looks like the second coming of Javonte, so.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys there.
Yeah, I just think Dax looked pretty good this year. And if anything, they just got to get to the 40-yard line, and they got guaranteed 3 points.
Yeah. Arizona going into San Fran. Still no Brock Purdy. I think I'm going to lean Arizona here because they've actually looked decent the first couple weeks.
I will take the 49ers, please.
You want 49ers? Zoltowski, what about you?
I will take the Cardinals. They've looked good. Kyler's good. Cod sucks, so he hasn't been playing it. Marvin Harrison has been figuring things out. There's too many, Brock Purdy being out. Mac Jones did look good, but with Brock Purdy out, George Kittle out, Ayuk's still not there, if I'm not mistaken.
He's hurt, but yeah.
I just think the Cardinals, they're on a hot start, and they're going to continue it.
Everyone's hurt
until Battlefield comes out, and then Kyler, like October 10th, Kyler sits on the bench for the rest of the week in your fantasy lineup because he's going to be playing Battlefield.
Think he goes over to Battlefield? He's not just a COD guy.
Oh, he's just a shooter guy or video games.
All right, next we have our Sunday night football game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs going in to the Giants. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is a must-win game. I mean, every game is must-win when you only have 17, but this is really a must-win for the Chiefs if they have any hope of getting into the playoffs.
Give me Kansas City because they're going to establish the run game.
Zoltowski?
Kansas City. You're right. It's a must-win game.
All they have to do is get till week 6. till Rashee Rice can come back and be the dominating factor, number one for Mahomes, and then they'll start winning more and more games. There's no one to throw to. They got old guys back there. That's it.
Quick comment on the Chiefs and the whole Rashee Rice thing. Have you guys seen the shirts that the team's been wearing in warm-ups? The free 4?
Yeah.
You know, even though he was driving over 119 miles an hour and caused a crash and was lucky no one died, it's fine. You know, you're an NFL superstar. You can do what you want, apparently.
He's on my fantasy team. He'll do his time, and we'll pay respects to it.
Yeah, I think this game's closer than everyone thinks, though.
I said the same thing about Dallas and the Bears.
What's the line on it?
Yeah, 6.5 Chiefs.
Oh, that's right. We heard you went over that. My bad.
Yeah, no, I think the Dallas Bears games is a close game too, but I think Dallas comes out with the win there.
All right, now we have our Monday night game. We have Detroit going into Baltimore. This should be a high-scoring affair. Baltimore's averaging, 40.5 points a game at this point?
Yeah.
Who we got?
Sorry, Zoltowski.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm going Baltimore. It's gonna be real tough for the Lions here, I think.
I think it's a good game. I think the Lions have figured it out a little bit, and I'm going to take my Lions to pull off an upset here in Baltimore.
Crazy that's an upset.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, technically they're the underdog, so it's an upset.
Well, thank you. God, what is wrong with you? What is your deal tonight?
I'm grumpy.
Jesus
I'm grumpy.
Christ,
Mr. Loophole is salty. Man, these games kind of suck this week, huh? A lot of one-sided affairs.
Yeah, I think Thursday night game is going to be absolutely terrible. I might not even watch it. Pat Steelers, I think that'll be a good game. Rams Eagles is going to be a really, really, really good game. I think the Bengals Vikings will be fun because it's the battle of the backups, as Fish has said. Chargers Broncos, that one will be good. 2 good quarterbacks going at it. Dallas Cowboys or Dallas and Bears be good. And I think the Ravens Lions Monday Night Football will be all really, really good. That's like you said, it's gonna be a shootout. I think the overs. It's 52.5.
I might watch Sunday Ticket on my phone in the stadium Sunday.
Just don't go.
I have to go. The tickets are bought. Tickets are bought.
Send your wife.
No. She doesn't want to go to that. All right, you guys got anything to say to people before we sign off?
Yes, sir.
Go Lions. Go Blue.
The Browns will play football. So, all right, always CGG. Thanks for being a Gent. We'll see you guys next time. See you Friday.
Hey, guys.
Friday.
Hey, Friday.
Fun Friday.